Your car guy here. Today we're going to do the front brakes on this 2007 Nissan Altima. Real easy. We're going to do brakes and rotors. Very simple. I've already got the car up, secured on jack stands. I've got the tires off. So I'm going to take off the caliper and I'm going to take off the caliper bracket so I can remove the brake rotor. I will show you there's something I saw right here. Can't really see it. There we go. This shouldn't be up against the brake rotor like that. It's supposed to be laying back against this. So that's making some noise. We'll take care of that. 14 millimeter bolts, top and bottom right here. 22 millimeter bolts right behind them, top and bottom. And that'll take off the caliper and the bracket. With our caliper mounting bolts out, we can then take the caliper and just pull it up off of the brakes. Sometimes they'll be a little stiff and you may use a pry bar to get it off. But in this case, that's not required. We'll just set it off to the side, right up here. That way we don't kink our hose or put strain on it. Then we can simply pull out our brake shoes. Somebody put these on wrong because the side with this warning device should be on the inside. So whoever did this last didn't do a great job. A lot of skim and wear on there. Almost like they didn't clean the rotors or something. And we'll look at our inside pad and you'll see, wow, that thing's really worn and should have been squealing because it didn't have the squealer though. It wasn't squealing to warn. And that ends up tearing up your brake rotor. Next, the 22 millimeter mounting bolts for the bracket. You'll see the top one right here, bottom one right there. They're in pretty tight, so you're going to need some good leverage to get those out. Once you get your two 22 millimeter bolts out, that bracket will just drop right away, and then you'll be able to simply pull these rotors right off. They're a floating rotor, and as I said, this tab should not be hitting that rotor. We'll just bend it back out of the way. Make sure it's not touching either top or bottom. That way we're not making any noise that we shouldn't be making. Now we'll simply put our new rotor on. Make sure to clean it first with brake clean because it comes shipped covered in a goo to keep it from rusting. Oily film, if you don't clean it, it will cause braking performance issues, can cause some glazing and things like that. So clean your rotor, then we'll set it right back on and put our bracket right in. Okay, we've set our rotor back in place. We put our two 22 millimeter bolts back in, mounting our bracket. Make sure and get them really tight. Those are large bolts. You want to get them good and tight. We've also, here's where we've gotten that tab that was rubbing against the brake rotor off of it. So that'll eliminate some noise and wear, and it should be good. With our bracket secured and torqued, it's time to compress this piston. We'll simply take one of the old brake pads and we're going to use a C-clamp to put on there and use it to compress the piston like that. So there's our C-clamp in place, and we'll just simply screw it in to compress that piston fully. Now we'll just need to put our brake pads in place. The one that has the warner needs to go on the inside, and these ears that are sticking out go in these grooves. So you simply set it into the grooves and press it up tight to the piston or to the rotor, and it'll be where it needs to be. Put your outside one in, put your inside one in and your outside one, and you'll be in good shape. And it'll be time to put on the caliper. There we go. Brakes are in place. Now we're just going to take our brake caliper and we'll slide it right over the top. Sometimes you have to push in a little bit on the brake slides since we've got a new adjustment to get them to set up right. We're going to put in our two caliper mounting bolts now. Okay, and there it is all back together. What you're going to do to finish the job, make sure and mount your tire, torque the lug nuts to specs. Before you drive the vehicle, pump the brake pedal up good and hard. That'll adjust these brakes because you can see there's still looseness right here. That'll get them adjusted. Then take it for a ride and make a couple of hard stops to help bed the brakes into the new rotors. That's it. Pretty quick and easy job. The hardest part is if you don't have a 22mm socket or enough leverage to break loose the bracket for the caliper mounting. But if you're only doing brake pads, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're going to change your rotors, you'll need that. This is your car guy. If you found this video helpful, please like and share and subscribe to the channel and help us grow.